Okay, so my question's about, you mentioned earlier about anger or about emotions, and can you talk more about, like I recently did this workshop, and they said, like, when we're young, we're kind of squashed and we can't show our emotions, our negative emotions, like anger and stuff. And they said on a regular basis, you should have temper tantrums. I can't say that. Temper tantrums. And so
you can't even say it.
Huh? I can't even say
Why would you want to do it? That's your broader self tangling those words up in your mouth.
So I guess I wanted to talk more about, is there times when we need to actually have those negative emotions?
Well, here's the thing. If you are feeling despair or fear, one of those really debilitating emotions that is evidenced of your feeling of absolute powerlessness, then a temper tantrum is a step in the right direction and probably would release some resistance. And you might even start laughing in the middle of it because of the extremeness of it or the absurdity of it. But if you are overwhelmed and you decide to have a temper tantrum, you're pointing upstream. So realizing that this business of does it feel worse or does it feel better is really what you want to be aware of. And anything that feels better is releasing resistance, and anything that feels worse is adding to it. And sometimes you don't know till you sort of get involved in it, but it's okay, get involved in it and you'll know, is it helping or is it hindering? Esther had an experience recently where this business with the secret was so unsettling to her because there were so many things about it that were uncomfortable, and some things that felt like injustice and some betrayal. And so Esther and Jerry both, they would bring themselves into alignment and then something else would happen. And they would bring themselves into alignment and something else would happen. And one day, someone that they know very well who was also involved in the secret called them and said something to them that just left Esther just wiped out. She just couldn't believe that she was hearing this from someone who she regarded to be her friend. And when she went to bed that night, Jerry let it go immediately and was long gone sleeping. And Esther decided to use it as her excuse to not line up who she was for another 2 or 3 hours and tortured herself with it until she had brought herself to absolute despair. And then that's compounded by the fact that she knows better, and compounded by the fact that she has such a wonderful life. It felt ridiculous to have something so unimportant be poking at her with such a big sharp stick. So she laid in the bed and allowed herself to just be where she was. She just made peace with where she was and accepted the powerless feeling that she was feeling. And then she decided deliberately that she was going to turn her boat in the stream and that she was going to move downstream or down the emotional scale toward what feels better to her. And so she reached for a thought of appreciation and scoffed at the idea. She felt more like killing than appreciating. And so she settled on a nice, long, satisfying conversation of revenge. And felt ever so much better.
Okay.
Now she's breathing again. And then the idea of the revenge actually felt humorous to her because it was so unlike her, but it felt so good. And now she is reaching for something that feels less angry and less angry. And before she knew it, she found a little flicker of hope about something. She began thinking what was really bothering her about this is that for a long time she has heard others say that Oprah has been listening to Abraham recordings. And different people have emailed her over time saying that Oprah has been speaking things that were Abraham phrases. And so Esther knew that she was familiar. And Esther could not understand why Something wasn't being said about that. She knew that they knew, so she could not understand why there was not some mention of the source of this material in all of that presentation. That was what was sort of sticking in Esther's craw. And then she got just a little feeling of hope, of maybe there's something I don't understand. Maybe there is no true deception. Maybe there's just something that I do not understand. And then she got hold of a piece of appreciation. And then she began to appreciate the power and the beauty and the wonder of their world and their life and their friends and their work and all of the wonderful things. And now she's tuned in, tapped in, turned on. She's back in alignment with who she really is. It was like a fever breaking. The feeling of release and exhilaration was so powerful. And then, the next day, the Oprah people called. So Esther could feel that this thing that was so unsettling, that launched a rocket of desire that had not been there before, but she was in no place to be a vibrational match to it, but she had deliberately brought herself over a period of 2 or 3 hours back into alignment with something that was fresh and new, with an idea that wasn't even within her before. She came into alignment with it, and then she saw the universe respond so quickly. And then Oprah said to her, she was sitting this far away from her, and Oprah said to her, "Esther, you called me to you, didn't you?" And Esther said, "Yes." Esther knows the night that happened. Esther knows what happened. Esther knows the rocket of desire that could not have been launched if it had not been for the combination of things. In other words, Esther has come away from this understanding the power of universal forces. You are the only one who can affect your experience. No one can do anything to you. Even if they are doing something that feels like they're doing it with your life's work, still, they cannot affect what's going on with you. No one can do anything that affects you. Now, your response to them can affect you. And what we want you to understand is that your response to them can affect you, and always does affect you, in the most positive and powerful of ways. You just can't live anything without launching rockets. And so the more contrast you feel, the bolder the rocket you launch. That's the only downside of strong contrast, is that it launches big rockets. And that's not a downside at all, is it? The downside of launching a big rocket is you feel worse if you don't go. That's the downside of launching a big rocket. Something that would be very beneficial is for you to write in your notebook on a regular basis, every day, maybe several times even, every day, maybe several times, about several different things. What is it that I'm thinking about you that I'm using as my excuse to not line up with who I am? Feel the power of that? When you say, "Look what you've done to me, look how powerless I am because of you and what you've done to me," that only renders you powerless, which is the most opposite emotion that the powerful you will ever have. When you decide to pronounce yourself not powerful, there is no greater self-betrayal than to pronounce yourself not powerful, than to pronounce yourself not worthy, than to pronounce yourself not something that you should be, you see? And so, when you get it, that you're the only one that can do it to you, the next time you get strong negative emotion, say, "Yes! Strong negative emotion. This is all good news. This means I really, really want something. This means I've really been launching rockets of desire. This means I've got my stream moving really, really fast. This means the call of source is really, really strong. It also means I'm pointed in opposition to it, but no big deal, because as soon as I get hold of myself, I can make peace with where I am. I can punch somebody's lights out in my mind. I can get myself turned around. I can find hope and then belief and appreciation and love. I can do it all day, every day. So now I don't have to be afraid of the world. I don't have to hide from anybody that might upset me. I can get out there. I can mix it up. I can get upset. I can feel that I'm upset. I can launch the rocket. I can acknowledge that the rocket has been launched. I can appreciate them for goading me into launching the rocket. And I can turn and become a vibrational match to the newly expanded, evolved version of me. And there will come a time when you will bless every rascal who has prodded you into expansion.
That's good.
You tend to think that you would like a feathered nest. You tend to think that you would like everybody to just behave the way you think they should. Just be nice so that I can just look at you and feel good. That's my quest. I just want to look around. I don't want to ever create. I don't want to have to deliberately control my thoughts. I just want to observe. I just want to regurgitate life. I just want to look out and see things that make me happy. So you all just behave yourself in a really good way, and I'll just look around and I'll be happy, and then I'll say I've lived a good life. And we'll say, that is a limp, sad life. That's not the creative life you decided to come forth and live. You said, I'll go forth, I'll mix it up, I'll launch my desires, I'll recognize when I'm not moving in the direction of them. The more I don't move in the direction of them, the stronger I'll launch them. The more I don't move in the direction of them, the stronger I'll launch them, till I get a really rollicking stream going, and then I'll really feel the discord between me, and then I'll make a decision. Do I want to continue to feel bad, or do I want to feel a little better? And if you want to feel a little better, you know how to feel a little better every single time. You know how to feel a little better. You do. You know how to feel a little better. And the more you practice feeling a little better, the easier it gets to feel a little better, until in time, no one will bother you. Someone could stand before you with a gun pointing it at you, and you would say, that can't possibly be meant for me. I feel too good. It must be magnificent, because that's my point of attraction. No bad can come to you when you feel good. When you get to that place of knowing your value and feeling your worthiness, only good stuff can come to you. But meanwhile, isn't it nice to figure out who you are and what you want? You see, it's easy for us to watch you and not worry about you, because we know the end of the story, so to speak. We know you all die in the end. We know that. We've seen the movie. You die in the end into bliss and joy. And we're just looking forward to you finding it first. You can wait till you croak to release your resistance, or you can do it a little bit at a time every day. Makes no difference. You're expanding, you're adding to the universe in the way that you meant, but life is supposed to be fun.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
So you could say that expansion is a continuing process of solving problems, answering questions, yes, that life poses. So doesn't it make you, next time you hear us, say, are you enjoying the contrast of your time and place? Don't you want to say, yeah, I get that. I get that it's what's putting me out there. I get that it's giving me my guiding light. And I get that it's giving me the ride of life. And I get that it's giving me that feeling of completion as I come into alignment. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. We want you to know that everything that you want to know, we've talked about many times already here today. And if you have not received an answer that feels clear to you, it's not because our answer wasn't good, because it really was. It's that you're not in the vibrational vicinity of it quite yet, so it couldn't occur to you in the subtle way that we laid it out to you. But no problems, because you do not have to get your answers only through this vortex. This environment has queued you up. You have prepared your questions, given birth to some clearly, even while we have been in this room together. And the universe is prepared to answer all of those questions. So pay attention to the things that are unfolding. And those answers that come through real life experiences are so much more meaningful than the words that you have to digest as they are offered to you, that you are receiving with your ears. You are a magnificent group of beings with powerful intent within you. We see you not only as that which you were coming in, but as that which you have become as a result of being here. And we want you to know the appreciation of that which is us for you. We want you to feel the power that you are adding to the expansion of this universe. And as we said earlier, it is our desire. We want. We're going to rub it in. We want. We want you to come into vibrational alignment with who you have become. Because when you allow yourself to stand where we are, we who are the result of that which you have lived, you will then taste the sweetness of that which you have contributed to this expanding universe. There is great love here for you. And for now, as always, we remain eternally incomplete.